Our HOA president stood on my driveway, face red with fury, yelling about a stolen vehicle. Right behind her was her son Tyler, arms folded and wearing the same arrogant smirk I'd grown to hate over the past 3 weeks. "Open this garage now!" Patricia's voice rang through the air like a siren. "I know you're hiding stolen property in there. The police are already on their way." I almost laughed. If only she knew. I calmly clipped my badge onto my belt, walked past the garage, and opened the front door instead. The shock on her face when she saw me standing there, cool as ice, was almost worth all the nonsense she had thrown my way. But let me rewind and tell you how we got to this point. Just 3 weeks ago, I moved into Riverside Heights after being promoted to chief of police. After 20 years of apartment living, I'd finally bought a home. Nothing extravagant, just a cozy 3-bedroom with a 2-car garage. But what made it special sat inside that garage. My pride and joy, a 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429, painted in grabber blue. I'd spent 5 years restoring that car with my father before cancer took him. It was the last thing we ever built together. Since moving in, I'd only driven it 3 times. Most of the neighbors admired it. Most, but not all. Patricia Dalton lived 4 houses down with her 17-year-old son, Tyler. From day one, she made it very clear that this neighborhood was her personal kingdom. When we first met, she handed me a thick binder labeled HOA guidelines and pointed out that my moving truck had been parked 2 minutes over the limit. "We run a tight ship in Riverside Heights," she said, her platinum blonde hair somehow flawless in the 90-degree heat. "I trust you'll follow the rules." I just smiled, took the binder, and said nothing about my job. I prefer to keep my work life separate, especially when people like her are involved. Trouble started in week 2. I was detailing the Mustang's chrome trim when Tyler swaggered up my driveway in his designer sneakers. "Sweet ride," he said, placing his hand on the fender without asking. "V8 429 Cobra Jet," I replied, gently nudging his hand off. "Just finished waxing that part." His eyes lit up with that greedy spark I'd seen too many times. "You should let me take it for a spin," he said. "I got my license last month." I had to bite my tongue not to laugh. "Not gonna happen, kid. This car doesn't move unless I'm behind the wheel." His smirk disappeared. "My dad pays a lot in HOA fees. That basically makes him part owner of this whole street, including your garage." I blinked. "That's not how property ownership works." "We'll see about that," he muttered, storming off. 20 minutes later, Patricia showed up in what I now call her battle outfit. White slacks, a blazer with an HOA pin, and heels that practically attacked my porch. "Mr. Morrison," she began, "my son tells me you were very rude to him." "I told him he couldn't drive my car. That's all." Her lips thinned. "Tyler is a responsible young man. Around here, when someone shows interest in something, it's only neighborly to accommodate them. We're a community." "Ma'am, that's a rare muscle car worth more than most people's yearly income. No one drives it but me." She sniffed. "We'll see if that vehicle even complies with HOA regulations. I'll be reviewing the guidelines tonight." And she did. Over the next week, I received multiple ridiculous violation notices. One said the car was too loud. I hadn't even started it near her house. Another said the paint color was too bright and could distract other drivers. My personal favorite claimed the car counted as a commercial vehicle because it could be used for racing. I responded to each notice with calm professionalism, quoting the exact bylaws that proved her claims were nonsense. She did not take that well. Things escalated again the following Saturday. I was mowing the lawn when Tyler showed up with 2 friends. "Hey, Mr. Morrison," he said with a fake friendly tone, "we were hoping you'd reconsider. Maybe just a quick spin around the block?" The answer is still no, Tyler. One of his buddies, a big kid in a football jersey, stepped forward. Come on, man, don't be such a hard ass. What's the big deal? I stopped the mower. My voice dropped into what my officers call my chief tone. You boys need to leave. Now. They backed off, but not before Tyler gave me a death stare that promised it wasn't over. And sure enough, an hour later, Patricia came back. This time, she brought her husband, Richard. He looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. You threatened my son and his friends, Patricia shouted. Richard is a lawyer. We could sue for emotional distress. Richard winced. I'd already looked him up. Tax attorney. Hadn't seen a courtroom in years. He flushed. You know what? Screw you. That car should be mine. You're too old to even appreciate it. Leave or I'll call the police. He grinned. Too late. My mom already did. Said the car's stolen. The registration doesn't match your name. He wasn't wrong. The car was still registered under my dad's name. I hadn't gotten around to transferring the title yet. She said the police will impound it, that maybe someone worthy can buy it at auction. That's when we heard the sirens. 3 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing. Patricia emerged from her house, phone in hand, grinning like she just won the lottery. Officers, she shouted. He's right there, the thief. I knew every cop that stepped out. Martinez, Davidson, Thompson, and the rookie, Patel. Martinez's expression when he saw me was priceless. Chief Morrison? He said. Morning, Martinez. Beautiful day, isn't it? Patricia paled. Chief? What do you mean, Chief? Davidson stepped forward. Ma'am, this is our boss, the chief of police. Tyler stepped back. Richard looked like he wished the earth would swallow him. But the registration, Patricia stammered. It's under my father's name. He passed away 6 months ago. I inherited it. Haven't updated the paperwork yet. Would you like to see the will and death certificate? Patricia's hands trembled. Martinez, please take a report. This woman made a false stolen vehicle report. She's also been harassing me for 3 weeks. Yes, sir. Wait, Patricia cried. It was a mistake. You said you checked the registration. You knew. That's not a mistake. That's a false report. I'm on the HOA board. I keep this neighborhood safe. No, I said calmly. You abused your power and wasted police resources because your son wanted to joyride in my car. Richard stepped forward. Chief Morrison, I am deeply sorry. This won't happen again. As they walked off, I heard Patricia whispering about lawyers and lawsuits. Tyler followed, shoulders slumped. Janet joined me at the curb. Well, that was quite a show. I was hoping for a quiet Saturday, I muttered. Oh, just wait. Patricia's called an emergency HOA meeting tomorrow. I don't think she's going to be president for much longer. She was right. The body cam footage was requested within days. Someone leaked clips online. They went viral. The video of Patricia yelling thief at the police chief exploded. Tyler's rants became memes. At the emergency meeting, Patricia tried to keep control, but neighbor after neighbor stood up and told stories. Years of petty harassment, insane fines, abuse of power. The vote was unanimous. She was removed from the HOA board. As she stood to leave, Patricia faced the room. You'll all regret this, she whispered. I made this neighborhood. No, said Janet, standing tall. You ruled it. Now we can finally live in it. Patricia stormed out in tears. Richard stayed to apologize and said they were putting the house on the market. In court, Patricia faced a $1,000 fine and 50 hours of community service. The judge, who I'd worked with for years, was not impressed. You admitted to checking the registration and still called 911. That's not concern. That's malice. Her lawyer begged for dismissal, but the body cam footage was too clear. $8,000 total, the judge ruled, plus court costs. And you're lucky I'm not adding jail time. Her face was pale as she left the courtroom. The once feared HOA president of Riverside Heights was finally brought down by her own arrogance and her son's entitled foolishness.